game number 1 in the winners match. So have no fear. One of your 2 favorite Splice players are going to go through to the round of 8 for this tournament. The question is, which of these 2 will it be? Someone in chat also asking, it's not about whether Stats and TY beat each other, because Stats will obviously win here. Can TY beat Solar? If all things go expected, yeah, it'll probably be Stats and TY at this rate, but Solar really has a fighting chance in that finals bracket. Well, we're going to see who of these 2 go on to fight them. Top right side of the map, play for Splice. It's going to be the Red Terran, TY.
The bottom left, as the blue Protoss, he is Stats.
Speaking of stats, I think it's time to whip out that stats page. Now we know the United States is going to be number 1 here. Part of it's we got featured on the front page. What's up, US viewers? We're off the front page now. So if you came for the front page, actually do me a favor. We'll make it real simple. Type 1 in chat. I want to see how many of you guys actually stuck around from the front page. But after the United States, we got the UK coming out as our number 2 viewership. Then Canada. Shout out to Canada. South Korea, Sweden, Germany, Denmark, France, and Brazil are our top. Brazil, hello Brazil. Haven't seen you on that list before. Our top featured, I guess, regions, which is kind of cool. So a lot of people tuning in from all over the world. It's always great to see, but seeing Brazil in there is interesting.
Yeah, interesting indeed.
Wow.
Hello from around the world.
Fair amount of people actually sticking around from the front page too. Good chunk of ones in chat. Glad to make your acquaintance, folks. Welcome to this channel. I'm talking like an old man now. I don't know why. I'm getting older as it goes on.
Okay, stop going Diablo. So I'm going to make a bit of a bold prediction here. You ready for this? I
give me a
think
sec.
TY...
I was buckling in my seatbelt. Now I'm ready.
All right, then. I think TY will win the series.
I think that is a really bold prediction, just because of the nature of TY struggling in this matchup. But as much as he has been struggling and we've been seeing the QQ on Reddit, he has still been innovating, and that's what I love. Whether it's carpet bombing with Widow Mines or using mass cyclones versus carriers, like TY, unlike some of the other Terrans, hasn't seemed to have given up and fallen into that pit of Terran depression. Instead, I don't know if he just sees it as a challenge or if he's motivated by the FU. Like, he's actually still been fighting really well. So I gotta tell you, you know what? It's a bold prediction that I could see being possible, but I think I still favor Stats.
So the reason that I say it, by the way, is not because TY is doing remarkably well, although obviously he has to be a certain degree of playing well. It's that Stats is playing not remarkably well. He's playing good, but not amazing. I think Yumio showed a lot of weaknesses in their series that TY could perhaps abuse. I kind of want to cop out and say, like, I'll see how the first game goes and then I'll really commit, but I won't. I think TY has a shot.
I actually totally forgot, too. The last 3 times TY and Stats have fought each other on stream, I don't remember if it's always been TY winning every series, but every time Stats has complained about fighting TY. And I remember the first time TY floored him.
Damn. I'm really hoping I'm correct, but now just for, like, bragging points and anything else. So this is interesting. We have not just a Marauder, not just a Marauder push with slow, but a Cyclone is brought along with it. Stats scouted with a probe initially, but not since the first, like, oh, you're building barracks in your base.
This actually makes so much sense too, because the Cyclone normally can't attack. It's so busy shooting one shot, moving one shot, shooting. It's not effective. But the fact that the Marauders can potentially slow the Stalker enough, this has already done so much damage with the probe line, having been pulled for as long as it has been. They can take down those pylons. Oh, you're not going to get warp-ins at this rate. He's going to warp into the main, which he does. Smart moves over there, but even then, cancels the warp-ins. Gateways depowered. That top pylon doesn't power. Are you serious?
Yeah, I thought that powered at least the one gateway. Very surprising there.
Oh, Nexus is under some fire.
Oh, no. This is dangerous. Marauders are still coming forward here. Cyclone, I think, is still coming forward, too.
The Immortal, though, should be enough to push this back.
Yeah, Immortal, good unit.
Immortal, great unit, especially specifically against what TY has done here.
Yeah, of course. All right, so that's going to stop this push. It's unfortunate because it almost ramped up to game-ending damage. 10 more probes are dead, and that's probably it. But as it is, it wasn't enough, and TY has to now hold against the return push. Like, his macro is going to be fine if he can hold.
Yeah, 3rd CC had a good timing. The if he can hold the part is really desperate. The bunker is not quite done yet, and timing of the attacks coming. This actually looks so similar because TY had 2 Marauders, a Marine, and a Cyclone. Now Stats has 2 Stalkers, a Sella, and an Immortal.
Oh, the bunker's gonna finish. Oh, reduced bunker build time. Fix the matchup.
Would you take a no return salvage for a faster build time?
Yes.
I think I would too, to be honest.
I think that makes T-Raxes much better.
Oh, I guess I didn't think about the cheesy factor. I'm just thinking about all these situations, even today, where we've watched players die barely as a bunker is not up in time.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would. So, okay, TY is held, all right? Like, he's not going to get broken here. Stats was not preparing for an all-in with a Warp Prism, although TY is a little concerned about one, rightfully so. And he has 3 CC. Eventually, he'll stop being contained by Stats, because Stats, again, isn't looking really for a contain here. And be on a fine enough economy, having dealt a good amount of early game damage. Now, I still think Stats is in a good position, because, like, I mean, Pernos is good and all, but TY could have died there, and he didn't, so applause all around.
It's like it could have and almost would have. Not should have, but... Alright, these Stalkers are going to be pushed back. Get out of here with your Purifier Stalkers. Nobody wants you here. Tank will set up, and even some depots coming down. A little bit supply blocked. Oh, TY is actually pretty badly supply blocked. Gonna see a small bank of minerals, I'm sure. But it's bio, it's not mech. It's nothing too insane. Does he see the observer?
Just playing Maru. I don't know. The Marines are there in a very suspicious manner. Not doing anything about it.
It's kind of what I thought. Like he's just waiting for the energy or something. But I guess... Alright, the observer's gonna float away. Maybe that alone was kind of the bluff.
Why?
Because you know what? TY sees Up a Tree Zelda with his really high quality, fantastic stream, and TY, who's just recently started streaming, doesn't have that. And he's just
super jealous.
He has to take it out on the Up a Tree Zelda bot.
It's so sad. Alright. Stats having amazing upgrades as expected despite the early game aggression. Onto the charge, on his way to High Templars.
He notably doesn't kill the Miss Magimech though. Maybe TY has a crush.
I think it's more like no one notices the Miss Magimech.
Oh, it feels bad, man.
Oh, very quick Ghost Academy. I mean, seeing a Ghost Academy as you build, one of the reasons I keep like forgetting that it doesn't require an armory. You just don't see it until long after the armory's done, man. So like 10 or 12 minutes. It's a very fast one.
Freaking, what is Sal doing in here? I thought it was free to make us Up a Tree Zelda references because the guy tweeted about being so tired and exhausted in the crazy stream and go to bed, Sal.
Yeah, we thought we were safe to... When I wasn't really shit talking, was it?
No, I complimented him. I don't want to hear him giving compliments. But Baka.
Baka. Alright, so TY is gonna go for the ultimate Terran composition. This is something this is the map that he did it against Hero, I thought it was, not Zest. But either way, one of the Purdosses, and he went mass nukes. I hope it happens again.
It would be cool, but mass nukes, single nukes, none of those are going to be nearly as powerful. It's just sometimes landing that just right EMP. And with Storms on deck and a Warp Prism shuttling these units around, TY's going to have to be really on his game for this. Also, actually, those are 4 Templar already good to go. This is tough, man. TY is down in supply. He doesn't have an amazing type of supply for this. Upgrades are going to favor his opponent too. Everything here spells doom and destruction, but at least the Watchtower sees this coming.
Well, that is, you know, something. Maybe it's the tower, I suppose.
Yeah,
2-2 is done. Yeah, it's done for Stats. TY, not even close.
I wonder...
Huh.
Okay, you throw an EMP bomb out like that when you know it's not going to be engagement. If it's better to just straight up snipe a Zealot or something instead.
Probably.
Because as we see, yeah, shield's just going to regenerate. That's
kind of the unfortunate thing is that you can really only snipe a Zealot. You know, if you could snipe Immortals or Sentries, I think that'd be totally worth it.
Actually, it's kind of ridiculous that you can't. You got to imagine mechanical units are probably more deadly to snipe than biological. Like, you shoot a Zealot in the foot, it's going to live. You shoot a stock through its servos hardware mainframe matrix, it's going to die.
Oh, so many technical words. I'm impressed.
It's like just adding space in front of things. I'm just going for jargon on this one. You shoot it through its space motherboard, it's gonna space die. Actually, stalkers are actually, they have biological components though. They have like a little person inside of them, or the head of a person.
Yeah, they have a face, so I agree.
Actually,
I think snipe should work on everything.
You should be able to snipe a stalker. Just shoot its head. What's the rest of its body gonna do other than look like a beehive? You know?
Yeah, I agree. I think that would really balance things out too.
Put Rifkin on the balance team.
Yeah. Stats is, unfortunately for TY, doing exactly what it should be doing, and that's transferring over into air, and specifically Tempests. I think whoever faced TY last, I think, again, maybe Zest. Oh, nice
pick up on the Warp Prism and get the last Templar on the ground. Oh, nice. That was actually so sick. That being said, though, an EMP is still not going to be the engagement that he wants for this. He doesn't have enough bio to chase into it. He might catch a couple units on the tail end of this run, but oh, man, that was so good to pick off those Templar. Almost devastating for stats, almost. The force fields, though, as we can see, can't stop the army, but just goes around it. Buys a lot of time.
Yeah. Oh, a couple of surprise Templars. But now they're just weak. Should be able to snipe them. And they snipe me with a Marauder. Somehow they retreat.
Those ghosts had such headaches from that feedback, they just fell apart.
I guess so. Unfortunately, but that does still turn them into Archons that have more Storms, which sometimes is a good thing. Upgrades are about to finish, however, for stats. It is, again, an upgrade advantage for the Protoss player, and Tempests are already out. It's something that a lot of the Protoss players have forgotten, almost. Like, they've gotten so hung up on the mid-game strength that, you know, sometimes they really delay air transitions, and it's the only way I think we've seen TY almost win against a Protoss. Stats, not forgetting, embracing it, and is looking at the better army.
Dude, look at Stats' vision on the map, too. I didn't even realize he pulled out the Zest Observers. Maybe he was a little bit clunky in the other series, but he is playing so clean in this one.
I don't know how TY takes on the Tempests.
I think he just doesn't. The Liberators... He's got such a high number of Liberators. It's that Hellion dynamic against Swarm Hosts, right? It's not much damage, but it's so much splash damage it might amount to be damage. I don't know. There's only 2 of them.
He's going for more Ghost additions here, more Ghost Academies. Yeah, nukes, the Mobius Reactor, but that's not going to help him here now against the Tempest. He needs to take a really great engagement so his Marines can get underneath the Tempests, which if he gets EMPs, I guess is possible.
Yo, quick shout out to BB-8 droid. Thank you for that Prime sub, dude. Just in time for Star Wars.
That was. Okay, chases the Zealots partially and then gets distracted. He's distracted by chasing the army and trying to do a couple of drops and Liberator harassment.
Yo, one of the things Zealots I wish would have done, if they had taken out those engineering bays, you screw TY out of upgrades. Not just stall them and get a lead, you screw them out of upgrades.
Yeah, that would have been really mean. Stats isn't that mean.
Oh, okay, so Sats is a good guy. Got it. He's a romantic and a good guy.
I mean, he'll win. He'll win, right? But he won't do it by making you face him. You know,
well, so
terrible.
By the way, these observers I noted for coverage was great. There's a real problem with this though, because it's detection at every turn. These ghosts are not going to get to use their cloak the way he wants to. And for TY not picking up these observers, it's not just bad because of all the vision. It's bad because the ghosts are not going to be protected.
He should be EMPing them. Very cost-efficient way to get rid of them. If it's really going to go into like this turtle game, right, split the map in half, then EMPs are absolutely worth it. But he's trying to be aggressive, and I'm just like, why would you ever?
Okay, we got 3 nukes in production, finishing up in just a moment here. Liberators are just causing distractions, and the Stalkers are actually having trouble removing them because they are stacked up for shots.
No. Oh no! Okay, the army almost engaged. And TY ran.
Nuke going down to the natural, but there's nothing here to really nuke, so you're kind of like, well, congratulations on the constellation prize. Looks like it's going to go off, though, so 7 probes will be his prize.
I guarantee he's looking at all the other bases. Not as natural. Last second sees it, but too bad.
I just love that there's some logic of like, there's no way he's nuking my natural. I have nothing there. Oh, wait, I got nuked at my natural. Big EMP on the Templar, though. Oh, my God. That's going to allow him to go in for the engagement. The Vikings take on those Tempests. Give a chase with the Marines, too. Guardian Shield not going to stop this damage. There's still a couple of storms. He's overextending. He's got to pull back to the Medivacs. But a good engagement out of TY, but not enough to kill the army.
Oh, I knew those last 2 storms were going to hit him. Every Terran player does that. You see a billion High Templar lose all their energy, and you're like, well, surely this is enough. And then he chased too far forward, and there's always one more.
Yeah, you forget about like the 1 or the 2 storms locked and loaded. I think the fear for this though, TY, his army supply is really not that great because his worker count is really high. We talked about this before, right? TY is a player who plays with more SCVs than average, and that lowers his army supply.
Yeah. He's not even filling out the army supply that he has available.
This is right.
It's actually quite a long time.
Covered by the observer was not going to work. The nuke, but the EMP lands once more.
High Templars.
Dude, actually, because there's so many High Templar, they have to turn to that merging Archon. That's going to give TY time to retreat, but now he's going to deal with the Archons. But more EMPs are locked and loaded, and that's going to make Archons manageable.
TY needs to just produce more. He's trying to add on these barracks, and stalling these out's actually very important. This army, even with the EMPs, I don't think it can take this on. There's nothing to help it. There's no Liberators, there's no Widow Mines.
Both the SCVs.
I think that's just wins with pure numbers here.
Yeah, Zealots and Storms coming for the backside of this. TY put up a hell of a fight, but he's left with almost nothing. Most of his army supplies through medevacs that are in the sky.
Yeah, he never filled out to max supply, and even if he did, talking about those SCVs, he would have still been underneath the supply of stats. This is game over, but damn, what a hard-fought battle.
What a game. Gee, map, we got the red Terran player, Splices TY.
The bottom right, as the blue Protoss, it is Splice Stats.
As a lot of people are very heartbroken after watching TY lose that game, remarking, oh, he outplayed him, he should have won, Terran's broken. And while TY did do a lot of very fancy things and he got a lot of really good moves, Zombier brought up on multiple occasions, like TY just wasn't producing a lot. You know, so much went into Ghosts, which are very expensive, and single units. You're not producing the 10 Marines that you also need to go in a company with them.
Yeah, it's a very classic problem, you know, even from Wings of Liberty, when you had those super long late game, you know, cannons in the middle of the base or the middle of the map type stuff. You would overproduce Ghosts and Vikings, and you would underproduce actual army units that were good at attacking. Now we have Widow Mines, now we have shield batteries, now we have Tempest, now we have so much other stuff, but it really does come down to the core unit. The bio is necessary to actually get the damage in. Either that or some Widow Mines. Both would have been pretty good. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to jump on board the TY played that so well that he deserved to win train. Because while I think there were a lot of things that I was like, yeah, that seemed a little bit easier for Protoss. That was not a perfectly played game for TY. And stats was almost perfect. He had so much vision. That was really, I think, the basis of everything went wrong for TY, was all of the vision he was allowed to get.
I think this is a problem we're not seeing a lot of Terrans addressed too. Like when we watch Zest play, and he's the biggest proprietor of this, even though Stats just did this as well. It's just everyone gets complacent about the vision. They say like, screw it, you know, they'd see me coming anyways, not realizing how it affects small select engagements, like most specifically the Ghosts trying to cloak underneath all that. Regardless though, good, bad, great series on our hands. Like, got no complaints really. Stats and TY putting up a hell of a show in that first game. We'll see if that continues here for game 2.
And that type of game, though, as even a caster, I'm a little deflated after all the hype things that happened. You know, I can imagine for TY, the guy that lost, there's probably a big sense of just, like, demotivation. Like, well, shit, like, I thought I played that pretty well. Like, how am I supposed to even top that one?
I would imagine that's probably the case for a lot of players, and that's probably influenced and fueled why innovation's not competing in things. And I just bring up the fact that TY, he's a guy to take those losses, and instead of get depressed by them, it almost feels like he says, you know what? Fuck you. I've got this now. And like it fuels him and determines him to do more and better.
Well, hopefully that's the case. He is changing things up. I mean, last game it did start off a little wonky, so whether you thought that was enough damage or not, the game started off weird, and that in itself can contribute to some other things in the mid-game. This time, not starting off too early, but still something a bit weirder. Proxy Starport. It's going to be a Banshee. Well, I don't think Banshees are that powerful, so I really hope it's not a Banshee.
I'd be cool if it's just a Liberator, to be honest, going across this early. By the way, Liberators, Banshees, they all get picked off by Stalkers pretty easily, so no matter what it is, he's going to have to work really hard to make it work. It is going to be a Liberator, by the way. I know it's a Charlie's statement in chat, but I love this thing on a Dingle 247. Stats perfectly microed his Templar so well that all but one got EMP'd. Perfect play on his part to do the trick and to trick the Terran into attacking so that the one Templar could destroy the entire Terran army. That's a spicy meme right there. I like that.
I mean, it is a little disappointing.
It's not too far from the truth, but
One storm still wrecks the Terran's day.
Best way to bait a Terran into a false sense of security is to have 9 Templar EMP'd out of 10.
Damn. So perfect.
That's next level strats.
Oh, well. Oh, you know, I didn't even look at the mini-map. I thought that starport was on the other plateau, the 5th base of stats. It's like actually so far away. Okay, but Delivery still comes here a little bit sooner. Doesn't matter.
There's so many stalkers though between the main and the natural. There's nowhere for TY to get in here. He's gonna rush the main, but that's is that already game over, man? Like this was so much.
I think it's already game.
A viewer in chat remarking, "I went to get coffee and it's already over. How did he lose?" The answer is badly.
Good answer.
He is on his last life. To the bottom right. Send him your energy, ladies and gentlemen. It's TY.
The top left is the blue Protoss. He is stats.
It's really interesting actually coming into this, talking about how we were a little bit concerned Stats was the one playing a little bit off today, not playing perfect, little mistakes here and there building up quickly, when it's almost the opposite, right? Even in that long, great game that TY played in map 1, it's arguable that he made more mistakes than Stats, and definitely in that last game too. Like this has not gone well for our poor Terran TVP.
No, it has not. I mean, last game you try and basically all in there. You commit so much to harassment units, they do absolutely nothing. It's like losing an entire army 15 minutes in the game, just a lot earlier. So that was unfortunate. But the first game was just, there's so many things that could go wrong for both players. Ultimately ended up in Stats' victory. Okay, fine. But you're already on your last life, having lost the second game faster than the first one. Maybe even more disappointing, maybe less disappointing. I don't know, but the point is you're disappointed. Can TY actually bring it back mentally? We're talking about his mental game being pretty good, but I feel like every Terran's a little bit crushed.
Oh yeah, also, I swear this is the same guy who did it last time, complaining about the lip smacking sounds. Now normally this is where old Rifkin would just, you know, make that sound in the microphone again. But, bro, why you gotta be afraid of ASMR? It's so good. There you go. All right. Stalker's coming out. Chronode actually had a stats. Gonna be pushing that across the map real quick. I don't know what he's gonna get with this. I don't think this will be fast enough to get the SUV built in the command center. But at least you can pick off a Marine or two, I suppose.
Yeah, I think putting the Chrono into the Stalker is almost never a bad thing. You're still gonna have some pretty damn decent pro production. But the Stalker just chills. All right then.
Oh, by the way, I didn't realize. Sorry, it's been a kind of a long day here, guys. We had some people throw some actual bucks into the prize pool of this, not just the free promo codes. Thank you to Zergling Pool Party for throwing $5 into this to say get hype. Lazy Toro throwing $5 as well, and of course, well, we did thank them last time. I would like to credit 47S for his $11 contribution and Zaros 12 for the $31 added to the tournament prize pool. Awesome stuff, guys. I don't know if we've used up all the freebie codes yet or not, but the second we use all the freebie codes up, it gives me the opportunity to go ask Maggiorino for even more. So if you want to see this prize pool continue to grow, guys, make sure you use hype BTSL.
Yep. That'd be awesome to get even more money. It's already a pretty nice prize pool. But the players... Oh, the players. TY going for the same push.
It's a cute little push, though, and I don't say that to take any of the threat away from it by calling it cute. This is
cute,
very unique and very dangerous, frankly.
It is, yeah, but, you know, Stats...
Okay,
that's how I walked right into that one. That wasn't so great. Stats... It's the exact same position, I think, but the gate was almost done, but this time the gate won't even be stalled out here.
Oh, he can't weather the probe damage. That's why he's losing a lot. Not enough probes die to make this super worthwhile, but he does pull them all off the lines once again. That's Cyclone! Oh, it's a couple zaps from dead. New Cyclone comes to the front line. Shoot the Stalker, shoot the Stalker. New one's warping in.
Closer. Yeah, well, the new one's warping in, that's going to be it. Immortal's going to pop out anyway, so that was really the end of the push, and might as well just save what you can.
This isn't too bad, though. This actually traded up pretty decently. It got a huge spike in income lead from all this pro team pulled off, and he actually used the high ground brush. Oh, he's so sick.
Nicely done. Very nice. That's, of course, should have tried to return some of that pressure. So nice TY to call it. Stats probably should have waited to see the units actually come back with the observer.
Actually, yeah, the observer's just kind of chilling there once again. I don't like this bunker positioning, though. It's great if the command center wasn't building here, but he actually can't get to repair it in time. When that comes, that's bunker's gonna fall.
Luckily, again, Stats is not going for that much of a push. This time he does add on a Warp Prism really quickly. So he could maybe try some like Warp Prism micro shenanigans. This wasn't really set up to be a push. Going for double forge. The bunker is a necessity, but not actually vulnerable.
No, necessity is picking off this observer, man. Not just to stop it from scouting, but don't give the high ground to the stalkers, which have blink completed now. At least the Warp Prism will accomplish the same goal, but either way, it's just more vision that you don't want your opponent to have. And Stats sees very clearly what is and isn't in the base. Tank pops out over here. He's going to go through the natural, realizing there's probably just statistically less of a chance there being anything here to defend.
Maybe getting an upgrade here would be really, really good. I think the tank is just barely out of range. If he's really as far back as possible. Yeah, there you go. Just a couple SCVs.
Real talk. Why can't we just put the tank on the command center? Take off the satellite dish. I'd trade out scans for positioning sometimes, I swear.
I mean, isn't it... Oh, I thought you were going to say I would trade out scans for, you know, a tank on top of a command center. I was like, isn't that what a planetary is, Rifkin?
I don't mean permanently. I just mean like close the dish or something and put the tank up there, you know? Like if Terran's never heard of ramps, wheelchair accessible command centers need to be a thing in 3032.
They do have a ramp. That's how the SCVs get out.
Yeah, at the bottom. I'm talking about getting to the top. Put the tank on the roof, fiddler on the roof.
This is why Rifkin builds planetaries in his natural.
I do not build planetaries in my natural. Don't spread those allegations. How dare you?
Sorry. This observer is going to see every single time how much army spawned, how much army is in the natural if it just moves over a little bit. I don't think TY can actually withstand against this push. Stats is doing, I think, what he did versus Gumio actually on this map, going for a 2-base all-in, almost. I mean, he grabs the third base, but it's really a dedicated attack. He grabs the tank almost for free. Oh no.
200 IQ victory. GG.
Damn.